Hi, Tom Cole, the coach for Steve Taylor Community Connection, and I'm here with a very talented lady, Shelly Rankins from the Toledo Day Nursery. Shelly, so good to see you.
Thanks for doing
this. Yeah. We were chatting off air, because everybody handles different age youngsters right here at Toledo Day Nursery, which is historically maybe the oldest running daycare in the history of the city of Toledo.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. Can you break down the ages for me? What, the demarcation of the ages of the kids you deal with?
So I have the kids in preschool, which are 3, 4, and 5. So we're the age right before they go off to kindergarten.
Okay, and then how old do the kids go through Toledo Day Nursery?
Oh, we have 6 weeks up to 5.
6 weeks to 5.
Yeah. So our infant room is 6 weeks to 18 months, and then they moved up to the toddlers.
Yes.
And that's up till 3, and then they come up to me.
And you've been with Toledo Day Nursery for about 6 years.
Yep.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank
to
you.
And the great work that you're doing.
Yeah, thanks.
Now back to these ages. You're 3, 4, and 5. You
Yeah.
said. As I recall, I've had 2 children of my own. 3, 4, and 5 weren't the easiest.
It's a fun age,
times.
yeah.
I mean, they were sometimes difficult times. What are the issues that you find at 3, 4, and 5? Is it kids following instruction? Is it playing well with others? I mean, what are the things?
All of the above.
All of the above, yeah.
Yeah, so in preschool, we're basically we're just building their brains. We're creating little humans. It's that social interaction, and they're learning how to have relationships with other people and playing with one another. Big thing in preschool is self-regulation. So dealing with those big, strong emotions and handling them in appropriate ways.
I read something somewhere that 3, 4, and 5 are really, and it was hard to believe, but they said they are the most formative years to who that youngster's gonna be.
Yeah.
I was really taken aback by that because I thought, well, you change in grade school and you change in high school and you're different maybe in college, and then in your adult years, they said 3, 4, and 5 is where that formationally kind of takes place, the root of who you're gonna be. And that's a lot of responsibility. Do you ever just stop and just think about that?
Actually, the other day I did. I was thinking, I'm like, man, we have a whole room of just little people that we are responsible for, and we're kind of setting the foundation for that person, because what they're learning here is how to form relationships, and that is a lifelong skill that will take them very far, in school and in jobs and in relationships themselves. So yeah, it's a big thing, but it's such a wonderful thing to see them. So it's a very cool thing to watch.
And to see the progress that they make. I mean, I would think the progress would be maybe, so-and-so doesn't play as well with others when they first get here, and then through the metamorphosis of the wonderful training that they get here, suddenly they play well with others and they become part of the group, and so that's got to be satisfying.
And learning the language, in the toddlers, they're still kind of grasping that language.
Right.
So then when they come here, we're just seeing so much language development, so many social skills of how to play, how to ask, how to take turns, how to share, problem solving. So many big things that they're figuring out at this age. And then once they get closer to 5, then it's like the friendships and the I want to play with you, I don't want to play with you, those dynamics. So there's a lot in that age range.
That, what you said right there, Shelly, is so salient, because I think you're talking about, and it sounds odd to say for little ones, but it's people skills.
Yeah.
And I see so very often in the work world with grown adults, things that hold them back are people skills. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to interact with people. They don't know, and if you can learn that at a young age, to be positive, to be able to interact, how to ask for something correctly, or, deal with a frustration correctly. Adults, sometimes a lot of adults don't know that.
They must have missed preschool then.
They missed Toledo Day Nursery.
Yes, they did.
But, you're teaching people skills at a young age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily getting them ready for kindergarten, it's just getting them ready for life, and teaching those foundational things that will take them, for the rest of their lives.
That's got to make you feel, because I know I taught, we were talking in the previous interview, I taught for 30 years, high school and college. And, it is a really good feeling to know that you're helping kids.
Yeah.
You get that every day. Is that what keeps you going? Is that the thing?
Thanks. And the hugs. Lots of hugs.
That's lot of hugs.
That's always the perks of the job, but yeah.
Yeah. What's the toughest obstacle dealing with young kids? What is the toughest obstacle that you deal with? I mean, is it playing well with others, following instructions, being socially polite. I mean, what is the toughest element?
I would say one of the toughest things is probably connecting them with what we're doing here in their home life. Because there are some families that are doing things very, very differently.
Okay.
So trying to get some of those skills into their home life.
Got it.
So that they just have that much more success.
Yeah. Okay.
So that can be a tough thing.
Yeah. So you don't have a disconnection
Yeah.
from what you're doing here
Yeah.
and then what happens at home.
Because the big thing that we do here is trying to connect with parents and giving them the skills. Because like you said, there are some adults that don't have those skills.
Right.
Of self-regulation,
Or
handling.
maybe don't put them on a high level of importance.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
well, your youngster wasn't polite taking a toy from Jimmy. Well, clobber Jimmy with the toy. You know, I mean, and some people might say, well, that's the way, that's the way he is,
Yeah.
And they have to value those kinds of things. And do you find that you get really good cooperation from parents and when you have to talk to them about something, maybe not always a positive
Not
thing,
always good.
No.
No. We try to build really good relationships with parents so that we can kind of be partners with them and then we can kind of support them in their own learning and parenting and things like that.
I like that word, partners. That's pretty good. Everything I've ever been associated with Toledo Day Nursery, Shelly, is there's a team atmosphere here amongst the employees. They support one another. It's a positive energy, and I know that you have really great leadership from Chelsea and Julie. They're positive. They talk glowingly about their staff, and it's not, some people talk about their staffs at work, and it's, I have a great staff, but it's kind of a perfunctory kind of thing they say. They're not like that. I mean, you ask about their staff because I'd interviewed them previously, and they just go on and glowingly about how great the staff really is, how good the people are, how great they are with the kids. So that's got to be kind of fulfilling for you to work for people that regard what you do.
You feel appreciated.
Yeah.
And you kind of always feel you can go the extra mile
100%.
when you know that someone's standing there behind your back.
100%.
Yeah.
And sometimes bosses miss that. There's an old thing in coaching, but I think it's applicable to what you're doing. I always used to say in football, the kids don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Yeah.
Once they know you care, they'll do anything for you, and I think administratively it's the same way. When you know that they care about you, hey, you need me to stay late tonight?
Yep.
I'll do it. I'll be glad.
You're more willing to say yes.
I'll be glad to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And they take very good care of us. Yeah, they're wonderful.
Well, I'm going to ask you a tough one.
Okay.
And that this is not easy to do, and I didn't prep you for it, but this is such a great organization. Can you give me a word or two or three or a phrase that if I asked you to describe Toledo Day Nursery, what would you say? And I know it's unfair, but what pops into your mind?
The first thing that popped into my mind was probably school family.
School family.
It's very much a family atmosphere, and like you said, Julia and Chelsea take very good care of us.
Yes.
It's hard not to walk in here and not feel welcomed and loved.
And how good is it to you have your family at home?
Yep.
But when your work can also be another family for you, you're going to be so much more productive. I mean, I find when I work in an atmosphere where you feel like people care about you, I'm much more productive than if you think they don't really care about you at all. So.
Well, and my kids go here, so I know I have a toddler in the toddler room here, and then my preschooler goes to the other location. So just knowing that they're part of my family at home as well is really important to me.
So you and Allie really are walking, talking commercials for Toledo Day Nursery, because not only are you great instructors, but your children are here. And that's the best compliment ever, right?
Yeah.
Because you could work here and say, well, I'm going to send my youngster someplace else. You see how great it is. You see how great the instructors are. So how cool is that?
Yeah, well, you have to trust the people that take care of your kids. So.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That's why they're here.
You're doing a great job.
Thank
It's an honor to chat with you,
Thank
Shelly.
you, I appreciate it.
Keep up the great work, and you're making a difference every day.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Shelly. Tom Cole, the coach for the Steve Taylor Community Connection.